Now imagine you are a monk of the Shugendo tradition, and today begins your journey into Sokushin Butsu, the sacred path of self-mummification, a ritual so extreme, so excruciating, that only a handful in all of history have successfully completed it. You wake up before dawn and walk into the forest, barefoot, cloaked in silence. You are about to vanish, not by magic or violence, but by intention, by choice. You will starve yourself, you will drink poison, you will be buried alive, and if you succeed, you'll be revered as a living Buddha. But if you fail, you will rot, forgotten in the dust like many others before you. This is not folktale. Welcome to Religious Shock. Subscribe if you're ready to uncover the darkest corners of spiritual devotion. Your first test is food, or rather, the lack of it. For the next 1,000 days, nearly 3 years, you will consume only what the forest offers: pine needles, bark, roots, and nuts. You are forbidden to eat any grain, any rice, anything cultivated by man. This practice is called Mokuji-gyo, tree-eating discipline. It is not just about starvation, it is about detachment. You are purging your body of fat, moisture, and decay. Every bite of bark is a prayer. Every root chewed is a step toward eternity. You begin to shrink. Your ribs press against skin, your muscles vanish, but your mind must remain sharp. You continue to chant sutras, meditate for hours, and hike steep mountain trails barefoot. The pain is unbearable, but to scream would be failure. You must endure without complaint, without fear. Every now and then you visit a small shrine carved into a cliffside. Here, the spirits of past Sokushin Butsu monks are enshrined. Their mummified bodies sit upright, draped in robes, their faces collapsed into serene stillness. You kneel before them, not to worship, but to remember. One day you will sit like them if the gods allow. After years of tree eating, your body is dry. Now comes the poison. You begin drinking a tea made from the sap of the urushi tree, the same tree used to make lacquerware. This sap is toxic. It causes vomiting, diarrhea, and violent dehydration. But that's the point. This poison purges you of internal bacteria, worms, and parasites, the things that cause decomposition. It pickles your body from the inside out. You drink it daily, knowing that each sip brings you closer to death. It burns your throat, your skin begins to itch and flake. Your vision blurs, but still you chant, still you walk, still you pray. You are now between life and death, hovering at the threshold, waiting for permission to cross. And when your master finally says you are ready, you are given a bell, a straw tube, and your final resting place. They lead you to a small underground chamber, carved into stone, deep in the mountains. It is barely larger than a coffin, just enough space to sit in the lotus position. You climb in voluntarily. No one forces you. You hold a small bell in your lap. You place the straw tube beside your lips, your only source of air. The entrance is then sealed with stones. Total darkness, silence. You begin your final meditation. You ring the bell once a day to signal that you are still alive. Outside, the monks listen. When the bell stops, after a few days or a week, they know you are gone. They seal the chamber completely and leave you in the mountain. 3 years later, they will return. And if your body has not decomposed, if your skin has not collapsed, if your organs have not liquefied, you will be declared a Sokushin Buddha. You will be dressed in robes, placed on a pedestal, your face painted in gold, and pilgrims will come to bow before you. Not because you died, but because you conquered death. Part 4, the roots of the ritual. To understand how anyone could choose such a death, we need to understand the religion behind it. Sokushin Butsu was not a widespread Buddhist practice. It was a path followed by the most extreme ascetics of a specific spiritual tradition in Japan known as Shugendo. Shugendo isn't pure Buddhism. It's a blend, a syncretic religion that fuses Shinto, esoteric Buddhism, mainly the Shingon and Tendai sects, and ancient Taoist beliefs. It focuses on physical hardship and communion with nature as a way to achieve enlightenment. Followers of Shugendo are called Yamabushi, mountain-dwelling monks. They believe that sacred knowledge lies not in temples, but in the wild, within waterfalls, caves, storms, and suffering. They test themselves with dangerous climbs, freezing water meditations, and rituals that break the body to purify the spirit. To a Yamabushi, Sokushin Butsu was the ultimate act of transcendence, a final vow, a way to become one with Buddha through sheer discipline and willpower. It wasn't about pain, it was about purity, about dissolving the ego, abandoning the flesh, and becoming part of eternity. But not every Yamabushi attempted it, and fewer still succeeded. The practice of Sokushinbutsu is believed to have emerged in northern Japan, particularly in the Dewa Sanzan region. The earliest known Sokushinbutsu monk was Kukai, also known as Kobo Daishi, the founder of the Shingon sect of Buddhism in the 9th century. While there's debate about whether he himself attempted mummification, his teachings heavily influenced the monks who did. Most Sokushinbutsu cases occurred between the 11th and 19th centuries. During this period, at least 24 monks are confirmed to have successfully self-mummified, though many more likely tried and failed, vanishing in rot and silence. The mountainous isolation of Dewa Sanzan helped. The cold, dry climate slowed decay. The pine-rich diet and urushi tea further preserved the body. When monks succeeded, they were enshrined in temples like Chirenji and Dainichibo, where their preserved bodies can still be seen today, seated in lotus position, faces dark and leathery, eyes sealed shut in eternal meditation. These were not corpses. To their followers, they were living Buddhas. From the outside, Sokushinbutsu looks like religious suicide, but the monks didn't see it that way. In their belief, this was not death, it was liberation. To them, the body was a temporary shell. To escape it was to escape suffering. The ultimate goal wasn't to die, it was to remain behind intact as a vessel of spiritual energy and teaching. They believed that by conquering all worldly desire, even the desire to breathe, or eat, they could attain Buddhahood in their own body, a state known as Sokushin Jobutsu. And for the communities around them, these monks became symbols of hope. Villagers believed that the mummified monks could intercede on their behalf, grant blessings, protect crops, and ward off disease. They were not just revered, they were worshipped. And unlike saints in the West who are canonized after death, Sokushinbutsu monks were venerated while still alive in spiritual form. In a world full of suffering, war, and famine, a monk who conquered death itself offered comfort and proof that enlightenment was possible through discipline, not miracle. But what if a monk failed? It happened more often than not. If, after the tomb was reopened 3 years later, the body had decayed or the bones collapsed, the monk was not declared a Sokushinbutsu. He had not achieved enlightenment. His name was not remembered. Even worse, some failed mid-process. Sokushinbutsu was all or nothing. It was a spiritual gamble, one that could cost you your life without the reward of transcendence. In 1879, the Japanese government officially banned Sokushinbutsu. It was now illegal to mummify oneself, alive or otherwise. The practice was denounced as superstition and madness. Temples were pressured to bury existing Sokushinbutsu or remove them from display. Some complied, others defied the law in secret. Still, the ritual faded. The last known attempt was in 1903, and it failed. Since then, no new Sokushinbutsu monks have emerged. The tradition is now extinct, but the preserved bodies remain. Today, you can still visit the temples of Mount Udono and Mount Haguro, where some Sokushinbutsu sit in glass cases, wrapped in robes, wearing sunglasses to protect their delicate sockets from light. They are still honored, not as corpses, but as beings who crossed the threshold between life and death and stayed behind to guide the rest of us. This has been Religious Shock. If stories like this challenge you, disturb you, or make you look at religion with new eyes, subscribe, because we are just getting started.